Do you want to dominate the EuroLeague Fantasy Challenge? Stay ahead with the latest expert tips, underrated picks, and injury news. Hit like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss a trade. And on to this week's video. Welcome back to the EuroLeague Fantasy Challenge podcast. I am Frankie Sachs and joined as always by Vasiliki Karamouza. And Vasiliki, I have to say to you, happy holidays! Why do I say happy holidays? Well, it's happy Passover for everyone who's Jewish. It's almost Easter for everyone who's Christian. And it's the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague postseason.
I think that's the reason we're celebrating the most, because I don't think I will have many days off of work because of that. But still, we have plenty of good games to entertain ourselves these days. But first of all, I need to say congratulations to our private league winner for round 24, the last round of the regular season. His name is Noah Svarts, and he amounted to 243.3 points. Congratulations again. Keep
That's
going,
a lot
guys.
of points.
Yeah, that's a lot of points. I'm not gonna ever reach that mark. I'm now more than convinced about that. Because whenever I think I have a good team and something goes sideways.
Wait a minute, guys. What the hell is going on? I mean, you're not going to introduce me? I mean, I get out for 2 weeks.
Who's that?
Hey, what's up? I'm back.
Who's that? Who's talking?
I was afraid this was going to happen. All of a sudden, Javi has a 1 week where he gets more points than you and me, and he's going to show up out of nowhere.
That's it.
That's why I was so bad that I had to be out of the podcast. Now I got 177 points, way more than you guys. It's time to come back. What's up, guys?
Welcome back, Javi.
Nobody expects this.
We did miss you. Welcome back to the EuroCup finals.
Oh, yeah. By the way, congratulations. He was 26th in the EuroCup Fantasy Challenge. So, yeah. And the EuroCup finals were a lot of fun, actually. Apple was the best team by far. But there was really good basketball. And we went from, like, really snowy Samokov, minus 8 degrees, to sunny Gran Canaria, 30 degrees. So it was, like, a little bit of everything. It was fun.
I know which of those you preferred.
Definitely, I'm from Sevilla, so I'm used to the heat more than that. But it was good. I never saw so much snow in my life, so that was cool.
You already have avantage for next year because you already scouted the players from Hapoel Tel Aviv from next year's fantasy.
Oh yeah, well, but like I said, Frankie was 26th in the EuroCup Fantasy Challenge, so he has the upper hand on that for sure. Anyway, play-in showdown, guys. Not too many games and not too many players to choose from. I guess a lot of people, including us, are going for the superstars because there's no other way, right?
Actually, those of us who played the EuroCup Fantasy Challenge, it prepares you for this because from the semifinals, there were only 2 games on the same nights. So you had to get used to this strategy, which is 6 great players, the bench less important, although you can't throw any spots in the bench either. Even trickier on the EuroCup finals, and that's what we will see on Friday with the fun of the play-in showdown. 2 teams, 1 game, 2 teams to squeeze it in there. So the strategy becomes a lot different, and you're not trying to balance your team, but really pick the best player for MVP, the best 6 players in the lineup, any way it fits in, and then get a couple guys who might get you some points on the bench. That's the only way to do it.
Totally. I think that choosing the best team captain, like the MVP of the round or whoever gets the higher PAR, will separate you in private leagues. In this kind of weeks, you make a lot of... if you make mistakes, they're penalized way more than before because it's only 1 turn. So if you pick the right players and the right captain, you're up there and you can get a solid, let's say, gap between you and your opponents in private leagues and in the overall standings. If you also pick the right bench players, you're up there challenging for the round title, let's say, or the round winner, which I guess in our case is not going to happen because we never get it 100% right. But anyway, we should go team by team, right?
We can, but I'll just say I'm willing to venture a bet right now that the person who wins the week, whether it's in our private league or elsewhere, will be someone whose 6th player was somebody none of us considered. They got lucky or were able to speak to the basketball gods and see that player. It's always that one difference. They'll have 5 guys that everyone else had and 1 guy that we didn't see coming who gets them a 20, and that's all the difference. And that's what you have to watch out for. And if we could pick that guy great. But I won't pick that guy. I'm certain because I'm more conservative. I'm going to get the 6 consensus players, but maybe you two will.
I don't know. I'm still processing how I'm gonna uh, pick my players for my starting lineup because I think I have 7 good players and I can only fit 6. So I'm still like wondering what am I going to do. So I don't think I will have the best 6 player.
I'm pretty certain that your 7th player will be the best player.
Yeah, it will probably be like that.
It is what it is. No, I was joking with you guys before the show that I went to AI, I went to Synergy, I analyzed matchups, I talked to all 4 coaches, and in the end, I went to the best players anyway. So it is what it is. I guess that in Paris, everybody's going to go for TJ Sharks. He's going to be, if not the most picked up player this week, I think it's a choice for team captain also because he always plays even better in good games. With Madrid, you have I think Madrid is going to be the difference maker in this round because you have 4 or 5 star players plus others like Gabi Deck, for instance, who could play well all of a sudden. But it's between Tavares, Campazzo, Musa, and Hesonja. You have to pick 2 or 3 or even 1 out of this. Then with Zvezda, it's pretty clear that everybody's going for Petrushev and Miller McIntyre, who's been playing amazing lately. And in case of Bayern Munich, Carson Edwards is the guy. So that's like a pool of 8, 9 players. You have to pick 6. If you pick the right 6, you'll be up there with the best.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned Gabi Deck, because that's exactly the type of player who will be a difference maker. Someone like that where he's not the consensus 6, and someone's going to start somebody like him or Nemanja Nedovic or Weiler Bab. One of those guys is going to have a big game, and that's going to change this for everybody.
Yeah, and that's the quality that we should bring in the podcast, like giving an alternative to all these players that we talked about and see if they can do. Weiler Bab actually is a very, very good choice. So having one of my teams, he's been rock solid all season. He doesn't make many mistakes. He's the steals leader of the competition, assists, not many missed shots. I like him, and I'm considering him. But again, if you want to put Weiler Bab, you have to take out one of these superstars. So what to do is very difficult. Vasiliki, do you have any sleeper, any player that could actually be up there with the best?
I wanted to have, I mentioned him last week as well. I wanted to have Tyson Ward from Paris, but then I couldn't fit him in my bench because then I didn't have enough credit for the 4th player. So yeah, maybe that's a good option. And also someone that people mentioned in the comments on our previous episode on the YouTube, Mikael Jantunen from Paris as well. As a second center option, if someone wants to go with 1 center in the starting lineup and have a second, not so expensive but still good center in his bench, on her bench, then maybe that's a good choice as well.
For me, I think that one thing I like looking at the players is I try to get guys who are a little bit more experienced. Maybe this isn't their first time in clutch games like this and you can count on more. I do have some guys who are 25 or 26, but a lot of my players are in their late 20s, early 30s.
The thing is that there are 2 rounds in this week, so it's very important that you make your trades. Remember, there are limiting trades from now until the end of the season. That's also very important. We didn't mention. You can trade anybody, so don't think about strategies or anything. Just take everybody out of the way and make a new team every week. But on Friday, there's only 1 game, and there's only 2 teams available. There's only 24 players available. Pick 11 or 10 plus a coach. So yeah, Friday I think is going to be even more important not to make mistakes. It's more about avoiding mistakes than actually getting it right. Just not try to be away from that guy who does -5 PAR and stuff like that.
Speaking of avoiding mistakes, I encourage everybody, before you pick any player, make sure you get the right coach. Don't find yourself in a situation where with your 6th player, your bench, you're not sure, you need some points, and you take a coach that you don't believe in. At the 2 games, decide which team you believe is going to win. Guaranteed, take that coach, because the difference between getting +10 or +20 or -5 or -10 is really the biggest self-inflicted wound you can make this week.
Frankie's totally right, but I think first we need to see our players and the trades we made before talking about the coaches, which is a very hot topic for this week.
I actually, by the way, I may clip what you just said there, the part where you said Frankie is totally right, and make that my ringtone.
That's cool. No,
Don't make me regret what I said. Don't make me regret it.
I have to say, going back to the EuroCup Fantasy Challenge, what gave Frankie an advantage in the playoffs is to keep Itudis as head coach, while everybody had coach Pedro Martinez of Valencia, EuroCup Coach of the Year. When Hapoel won these 2 games against Valencia, he got a lot of points that he got plus 10 and everybody got minus 10, and that he gave him a huge advantage. So that's an example of how important is the coach going forward. So yeah, that's how it goes. So should we take a look at our teams, or what do you think?
Yes.
Let's go for it.
Let's do it. So let's do it. Vasiliki, you go first. Who do you have in mind for this week?
Okay, so the only player I had from these 4 teams and the only player that I kept is Leo Cavalier from Paris. I didn't have anybody else from Real, Paris, Red Star, or Bayern Munich, so I needed to make a lot of changes. So I will start with the players. Thijs and Poirier are out. Tavares and Booker are in. Nan, Bryant, Williams, Goss are out. TJ Shorts, Carson Edwards, and Cody Miller-McIntyre are in. Sasa Vezenkov, Joel Para are out. Philip Petrusev and Dan and Musa are in. And then I have Brithwell and Bean going out. And then in their places, I got Herrera from Paris and Gonzalez from Real Madrid. I don't think Hugo Gonzalez is going to play, so I expect a 0 from him, but I only have less than 5 credits. And the other option was Banja C, but then I'll have 4 players from Paris and possibly a minus something because Banja C had some games of that type, so I prefer their 0 from the least math I know a 0 is better than a minus. So I went with Hugo Gonzalez.
That checks out mathematically. 0 is better than minus.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I like Miller McIntyre because he was the assist champion last season. Now he's turned into a scoring machine. He's been averaging over 18 points in the last 5 games. So free from desire, Cody Miller McIntyre.
That's a new logo for us.
Yeah, it's actually credit to one of the commentators in IMG who came up with it. It's not my idea. I cannot be ever that brilliant, I think. So that's it. Frankie, you go next. Who do you have?
All right, so my 6 starters, I have the hottest man at the moment, the EuroLeague MVP for March and April, sorry. Walter Tavares at center. I have 2 other Real Madrid players in my starting lineup, Campazzo and Musa. Then I have Philip Petrusev, the best player, in my opinion, for Zvezda. I've got the best player for Paris, which is TJ Shorts, and the best player from Bayern, Carson Edwards. Sticking with the Madrid theme, I have Coach Mateo as my coach. And on the bench, I have 2 guys from Bayern are, what's wrong, Javi?
Yeah, we have the same players, basically.
Okay.
That's what I don't like it at all. I gotta change. What the hell?
my bench, the 2 guys I have from Bayern are Giffey and Harris, and my 2 guys from Zvezda are Nedovic and Davidovets.
Slightly better than
we definitely don't have the same players. So some of us is going to have an amazing week and the other is going to have a disastrous week.
I am sitting around the change I almost made last minute, and I still might make. I may drop Musa for Hezonja. I need 1 more credit, I think, or fraction of a credit to do that. And to do that, I might drop maybe Giffey for the Paris forward for who you have. Who do you remind me who the Paris forward you have is?
Cavalier.
That's right. That's the move I might
make.
That'll be a Tuesday afternoon decision. I do like the Hezonja, is a little bit older, but Musa's cheaper, and honestly, there's not much to choose between them. Either of them could go off, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, Hezonja played really well against Paris just a couple of weeks ago, and that's why I think Musa will play better. I mean, that's my strategy.
Musa had a 20-something that game also, and then played well last week where Hazonia had an off week, but I don't know that it matters. I think that you're just, you're looking for so much, but there's the game can go any way. Either one of them could have a huge game.
Yeah, I don't want to have the same lineup
Or
as you.
or it could be Deck, like you said before. It could be Deck that has the huge game, and we weren't prepared for it.
You never know. We'll see. But like I said, I don't want to have the same lineup as you, so I expect changes because what's the fun of having the same team? It's not. So yeah, I have Edwards, I have Shorts, I have Musa, Petrusev, and Tavares, and Campazzo. Everybody, 6 out of 6. Same players, same coach. Choose Mateo. For the bench, I didn't have a lot of money. I went for experienced players. I went for Banjasi, I went for Davidovac and Dobric. And then I have Harris because I only play one center. And since the other one is on the bench, why spending a lot of money on him? So, but yeah, I was thinking of Musa or Hessonia also. If you have Musa, probably I'll go with Hessonia. Please let me know. I'll pick the other. I don't care. I'll give you first choice. But I'll pick the other one. And maybe I will trade Campazzo for Miller McIntyre, who has been playing really well. That frees a lot of credits to upgrade one of the bench players to, let's say, a mid-range player. So that's probably what I'll do because, I got 37 points more than you last week. Why copy you? You should copy me, not the other way around.
I don't think there's been better advice all season than whatever Frankie does, I'll do the opposite.
Yeah, that's what I tell people lately. In the last month, I've been playing terrible. And when they ask me on social media, I say, okay, if you give me 2 choices, I'll pick one, just pick the other player because that's probably your best choice. And actually, people did it. And they're really... So I'm here to help, like I said. Anyway.
Okay, can you help me with my lineup problem?
Yeah, I mean...
So, right now I have Tavares, Booker, Petrusev, Shorts, Edwards, and for the 6th player, I have got Miller McIntyre.
I would trade Booker.
What do I need to do? What do I need to do? I have Musa on my bench. Should I have Musa in? And if I got Musa in, who am I getting on my bench?
I would do Musa for Booker. I would put Booker on the bench and Musa in. So just go the other way around, keep Musa and put, I don't know, put Musa on the bench and keep Booker.
That second game is a bit of a tricky game because, as we all know, Bayern's been so dominant at home this year. Zvezda's faded down the stretch. Zvezda has a bit of a hole at the center position. Booker's been great, but it's one game, and I don't know, does the home court matter that much for this one game? Can somebody step up? Is Booker 100% of what he was 2 months ago? That's one of the reasons I'm just staying away from Booker. I'm not confident for that price.
And also, Bolomboy may come back. Bolomboy may come back. That changes the whole game, everything. If he's in good shape or if he's in good rhythm, he's guaranteed 10 rebounds and a couple of blocks. That changes everything. But I don't think it's a big risk. So I don't think I'm gonna go there.
Yeah, I stayed away from Booker because I don't want to spend that amount of money. Even though I can make the case for it. Like I said, home game against maybe even if Bolomboy comes back, he's not 100%. Right? There's all the reasons to believe in Booker, but that doubt that's in my mind, do I want to spend that money for him when I could spread it out somewhere else? So I stayed away from Booker. And if you're not going to start Booker to start Musa, then I would spend that money. I wouldn't put Booker on the bench. Probably I would use a different center and then spend that money to upgrade your bench in other ways.
Okay, so all that you said sounds very logical, but it also makes me think that I want to have Booker because he might be a difference maker, and most people will avoid him. So
that's right.
Maybe I'll keep him. I don't know. I'm very confused right now.
Also, my logical advice to you last week was that there's no way you should have none as your captain on Friday. And how'd that work out for me?
Not good for you. Perfect for me because the other players were disastrous. Not all of them, but plenty of them who are considered superstars for their teams and for fantasy. So at least none kind of saved the day for me.
Right. So logic has its limitations.
Speaking on captains, let's talk captains. Who do you have in mind? I can go first and tell you that I'm not going for... I think everybody's choice is going to be TJ Shorts. And I'm going for Eddie Tavares, MVP of March and April, or beginning of April. I think he's been playing really well. He has a really big size advantage against Kevarius Hayes and Gentleman. I think he's going to be the MVP of the first round of the play-in. That's why I'm picking Tavares. What do you guys have?
I'm going with Shorts. Who it's odd that I'm going with him now because this is the first time all season I've had Shorts on my team. But I just think that there's no player in the playoffs that their team is going to rely on him more than Shorts. And Shorts is not like Carson Edwards could win the game by himself, but he could also have they could win without him. He could have a bad shooting night. Shorts is not the type of player who's going to fire up 20 shots and miss a bunch of them. Right? The shots that he makes are very makeable shots. He's not one to have a low PIR. So I'm pretty confident that not only does he have a very high floor, he has a very high ceiling, and what I expect to be a fairly high-paced game. And the faster the pace is, I think the more it limits Tavares' upside.
So I have TJ Shorts as well. Same logic as Frankie. I think Paris will heavily rely on him, even if they lose the game. Win or lose doesn't matter. Shorts is gonna be there. He's gonna take the shot. He's gonna assist his teammates. He's gonna draw fouls, driving to the basket. He has no fear. So I think he lives and breathes for this type of games against the favorite, against a big team. So I think I will go with him.
Yeah,
Good choice.
I like the fact that there are so many options. So even when there's only 4 teams, we haven't talked about Andy Ops, for instance, who could go off. We haven't talked about Vladimir Lucic, who is always better in playoffs. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. I like it. Even with limited choices, the fantasy challenge is a lot of fun, and that's what makes the game so great.
And we didn't really elaborate on our coach. I didn't even mention I have Jus Mateo as well as both of you guys. So we're all going with the most experienced team.
You're even wearing white, so that is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Before we go, I want to say thank you again to Javi for joining us. We've missed you. It's fun to have you back.
Yeah.
And this week is going to be a great week of basketball, so make sure you catch all the games on EuroLeague TV. This week's rivalry series game is FC Bayern Munich against Zvezda Belgrade. It's going to be fantastic. 2 games on Tuesday, 1 more game on Friday, and all we ask of you, the 3 of us hosts, is tell your friends about the podcast, like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, interact with us on social media, ask us questions on all of our social medias, and we will see you here next week for more fantasy fun.